The streets have been talking about Richard Nii Armah for a long time. Everybody wants to know how the man made his money. You know, Ghana, anybody who flashes wealth, social media and office talk goes wild. Some rich people in this country have indeed made money the wrong way. We've seen it. Kofi Boat, Nana Appiah Mensah, Dada Joe Remix, Hajia for Real. Names that make people shake their heads. But Richard, this man belongs to a different chapter. He's one of those few who actually built wealth the right way, quietly, strategically, and consistently. After that birthday party, people were talking. Big cars, big houses, designer, everything. Accra was buzzing. And then Hajia for Real's old story came back into the mix, and everybody on Twitter and Facebook started making assumptions. Social media court was in session, and Richard Nii Armah Quaye was the defendant. But unlike many others, the truth doesn't need hype. It only needs investigation. An investigation came. The government didn't sit down and watch speculation run wild. They conducted a deep, thorough probe. They looked at his companies, accounts, contracts, and everything in between. And what did they find? The streets were wrong. Richard's money had a traceable, legitimate source. But before the world got the official answer, the man had already explained how he made every single cedi. Richard Nii Armah Quaye is a name you can't ignore when the topic of smart business, venture building, or money growth comes up in Ghana. His rise was slow, calculated, and intentional. It didn't happen overnight. It took years of understanding money, understanding companies, and knowing when and where to position himself. His journey? Risk, discipline, patience, and an obsession with building value instead of chasing short-term gain. Let's go back to the beginning. Richard wasn't born into wealth. He didn't have a family empire handed to him. Everything he owns today came from the choices he made early in life. While other young people were chasing attention or flashy businesses, Richard was learning about money. He studied how companies grow, how investments work, and how businesses survive beyond hype. This mindset brought him into entrepreneurship. And unlike many young entrepreneurs who jump into 10 things at once, Richard focused on one path. He wanted to understand startups deeply, not just as an investor, but as someone who knew the challenges of building from zero. Risk after risk, rejection after rejection, he remained focused on the fundamentals: knowledge, timing, and long-term planning. One of the things that defined Richard's early path was his interest in small businesses and how they scale. He noticed that most entrepreneurs fail because they lack two critical things: capital and guidance. Brilliant ideas often die simply because founders don't have the right mentorship or direction. Richard saw this gap and turned it into an opportunity. He studied sectors with potential in Ghana and across Africa: retail, logistics, services, manufacturing, and technology. He didn't rush. He observed patterns, studied the numbers, and learned which businesses could survive and which would fail. That knowledge became the backbone of his wealth. He started making small, strategic investments, not chasing quick wins, but long-term value. Then came the big break: Quick Credit and Microcredit Limited. This was not just another microfinance outfit. Richard saw a huge gap in the market. Many young entrepreneurs and small business owners couldn't even get a small loan from traditional banks. Quick Credit stepped into that space, offering fast, accessible loans to people who had skills and ideas but no capital. Market women, small shop owners, artisans, taxi drivers, startups, all of them suddenly had a lifeline. The business model worked like magic. People started paying back. Trust grew. The company expanded rapidly. Richard didn't waste profits on unnecessary luxuries. He reinvested in the business, opening more branches, strengthening operations, and building a structure that could withstand competition. He was building an empire quietly, strategically, and with discipline. Richard's success wasn't luck. It came from education, learning, and relentless financial literacy. He studied risk, market trends, and global finance. He attended programs, read endlessly, traveled, and networked. While others feared numbers, he mastered them. Every loan was tracked. Every investment is measured. Every client had a plan. This discipline built trust and stability for his business and personal wealth. He didn't stick to just one revenue stream either. Richard diversified. His portfolio now spans finance and lending, real estate, startups and entrepreneurial ventures, retail operations, small manufacturing setups, business consultancy. His experience in microcredit helped him identify serious entrepreneurs who could scale. Long-term bets multiplied his fortune over time. His media appearance on the business pitch introduced Ghanaians to his sharp mind, strategic thinking, and entrepreneurial vision. While others saw a TV personality, Richard used the platform to grow networks, attract partners, and expand influence. Leadership also played a major role. He runs his businesses with discipline and integrity. Employees know the system demands responsibility. Mistakes are corrected fast, decisions are data-driven, and challenges turn into opportunities. Richard's approach set him apart from other young entrepreneurs obsessed with flashy lifestyle spending. He reinvested profits, expanded operations, and strengthened his companies before the public even noticed. By the time people were talking, he had years of solid growth behind him. By 2025, the story of Richard Nii Armah Quaye's wealth was too big to ignore. Everybody was talking, some in admiration, others in suspicion. Social media detectives and political commentators were connecting dots, some real, some fabricated. That's when the government of Ghana, led by President John Dramani Mahama, decided to dig deeper. They opened an official investigation into his business dealings, investments, and financial history. Questions were flying. How did this man rise so fast in Ghana's economy? Was it all clean? Was there any funny business behind the empire he had built? Critics in the opposition NDC were loud. They demanded transparency. Their argument was simple. Anyone who rises this fast in Ghana should have a verifiable paper trail showing the legitimacy of their money. Investigators didn't take this lightly. They went beyond surface-level checks. Every company Richard had founded was examined. Every investment, every partnership, every branch, every loan, all of it was on the table. His banking records, tax compliance, corporate filings, and international dealings were reviewed. Sources close to the process say it was intense. This wasn't just a casual audit. It was a deep probe designed to find anything hidden, illegal, or suspicious. After months of scrutiny, the findings were clear. The government's review confirmed that Richard Nii Armah Quaye's wealth had a legitimate, traceable source. Every cedi in his accounts could be accounted for. Every investment had a clear record. Every company operated transparently. The investigation found no evidence of illegal funding, backdoor deals, or shadowy transactions. It was straightforward. Richard's rise was clean. His business empire was real, grounded in hard work, strategic thinking, and smart investments. The money wasn't flashy luck, it was earned, measured, and multiplied through disciplined reinvestment. The conclusion sent shockwaves through the business and political communities. Social media skeptics, political critics, and even rival entrepreneurs had no choice but to acknowledge the truth. Richard had done exactly what he had always claimed. He built his empire through legitimate entrepreneurship, careful planning, and disciplined execution. Richard Nii Armah Quaye's story isn't just about personal wealth. It's about impact. Through Quick Credit and Microcredit Limited, thousands of Ghanaian entrepreneurs and small business owners gained access to funds they never had before. Market women, shop owners, artisans, taxi drivers, and startups suddenly had lifelines to expand their operations, buy equipment, or stock their shops. Beyond money, he created knowledge, mentorship, and opportunity. Entrepreneurs learned business principles, financial discipline, and growth strategies from his approach. Richard's companies became a backbone for the informal sector in Ghana, helping ordinary people chase their dreams while stabilizing a segment of the economy that often struggles to get official support. His impact on the economy is measurable. Businesses that might have collapsed without Quick Credit now thrive. Jobs were created. Markets expanded. His model proved that lending responsibly, reinvesting profits, and understanding the market can multiply wealth while uplifting communities. After the government investigation closed, Richard's reputation grew stronger than ever. What was once gossip, speculation, and political intrigue became verified reality. His wealth was clean, earned, and smartly grown. This wasn't just a win for him. It was a statement to all young entrepreneurs in Ghana. Smart planning, financial literacy, and disciplined investment can create real wealth without shortcuts. His media appearances, particularly on shows like The Business Pitch, weren't just entertainment. They were strategic platforms. People saw a man who could evaluate ideas, mentor startups, and grow businesses sustainably. His leadership style, focus on systems, and insistence on accountability in his companies created a model many young entrepreneurs now follow. Unlike flashy spenders, Richard reinvested profits, expanded operations, and built structures capable of surviving competition. While others chased attention, he chased impact. By the time mainstream Ghana noticed, he had already spent years quietly building, reinvesting, and growing.